Moza R21
Ultra.
First impressions after 7 or so hours of using this wheelbase with iRacing, Race Room, LMU and the original Assetto Corsa. That is what I'm going to go through in this video. If you found this useful, subscribe, hit the like button, and if you're getting one of these and you want to support us, we have an affiliate link in the description. Moza send this wheelbase to us to check out. No contract. I'm not like a promoter for Moza. We just got this on the rig. They sent it to us. So first impressions, absolutely fantastic wheelbase. Basically, really similar to the previous R21 non-Ultra. So if you've got an R21, don't worry, you're not particularly missing out not having the R21 Ultra. It's like 1% difference, 2% difference, utterly marginal difference. I don't think they're going to sell the old one anyway, so if you're buying a new one, this is what you would get regardless. So I don't think you're going to have to choose between them, maybe if you're buying second hand, but they're very similar. Question a lot of people ask, would it be worth upgrading from an R12 or some of the other lower force feedback rated Newton-meter motors that Moza do to this one? Maybe if you want stronger force feedback, you want more punchy. Both the previous R21 and the R21 Ultra have smoother feel to the motor and a little bit more punchy detail. They're high quality motors. I think the way the electricity is delivered to them is better. The biggest differences between this and the previous R21, the LED lights, which basically you can't see, so they're effectively pointless, but it looks nice when you turn it on. And then more mounting holes on the R21 Ultra than the previous Moza, and it's smaller, and the power supply, power brick, is smaller as well. So that's nice, because the R21 non-Ultra has a right chonkus of a power supply, so maybe that's relevant to you. But very similar. Interestingly, the R21 Ultra is a tiny bit has a little bit more mechanical inertia or resistance than the previous R21, which on the face of it would be a bad thing. It's totally smooth, or pretty much totally smooth, much smoother than the R12, about the same smoothness as the previous one, but a little bit more sort of mechanical resistance. This is the Game of Muscle rotational test here. However, very interestingly, when you're actually getting force feedback and you're driving, the delivery of the force feedback gives you actually a smoother, kind of more responsive and looser feel to the wheel when it's being actually actuated by the force feedback. So the end result is a better end result than the previous R21, though it's utterly marginal, guys. We're talking like percentages of difference here. So small, it's actually pretty absurd. Other than that, compared to the other Moza wheels, it's compared to 21, it's basically identical. You could effectively just consider this as being basically identical. Moza probably don't want me to say that, but it's very similar. And as I say, the upgrade for the R12 or some of the other wheels, stronger, smoother, fantastic. Now, a really important thing to say, I have been using direct drive wheels since like 2012. I think it was the first time I used a DD wheel. And the fact of the matter is, since then, the first like OSWs, AccuForces and stuff, those wheels were already way better, really, than what you actually would ever really need for a simulator. And like even back then, the differences were in the software and the physics of the sim you're playing and the actual force feedback that the sim puts out, the game itself. The differences are in the game are much bigger than the differences that come from the wheelbases. Granted, with the first AccuForce wheel, that was a little bit grainy, and the OSW was totally smooth, and generally pretty much all DDs now are totally smooth. There was more of a difference with like a graininess feeling or resistance and stuff, but basically the first OSWs you could get with a small Maze motor was already so much more than what you really need to sim race from. And what you notice is obviously you've got reviewers reviewing all the different equipment, and they're like, oh, this is slightly better than this, and it feels slightly better. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's more punchy. Oh, you know, you get all that, which is fine. Reviewers going to point out the differences. It's what it's meant to be doing. But what that can lead you to thinking is that, oh my God, which wheel do I get? I don't want to buy the wrong one. And ultimately, really, it doesn't make that much difference. Like, if you're buying any of the major brands, Simagic, Moza, Simucube, VRS, VNM, whatever, in terms of the hardware, they really are very, very, very similar to each other. There are slight differences, but on the grand scheme of things, they're very similar. The bigger differences that are more important is in the software side of the DD wheels, and then the wheel rim support and the sort of ecosystem that they happen to offer and the price of those wheel rims, and then stuff like the servicing that the company offers and the general reliability that you might find. You know, it's really not that much of a difference in the fundamental motors. There is a slight difference, but it's not the biggest of differences. So if you're buying a direct drive wheel, I wouldn't get too hung up on the reviewers going into the slight details of the motor feel. I'd get more hung up on what's the price of the wheelbase. Is it going for a good price? And does the company that you're buying from or the shop that you're buying from have a good reputation for support? And then do the wheel rims that they sell for that device, are they a good price and what you're looking for? That's probably what you should focus on more, to be honest. Basically, though, like at the end of the day, no wheel is going to magically fix iRacing's physics at the limit, or fix Assetto Corsa's curbing on the throttle with certain cars, or magically make LMU have really detailed physics at the limit or at low speed. They can't. Like, maybe there is an argument with wheels that do like telemetry-based force feedback. And that's something I need to investigate more. I've experienced with that with the AccuForce wheels, and that can sometimes have a bigger impact from sim to sim because you've got more options with the force feedback. So that possibly, but outside of that, it's the sims and the issues and the physics of those sims are what define the basic driving and approach, not really the direct drive wheel. The direct drive wheels are really good quality and have been for bloody ages. So that's just something to really keep in mind. But yeah, after 6 hours of using this, it does feel like an absolutely fantastic piece of equipment. There's not anything that immediately stood out as like, oh god, that's terrible. We dialed in all the settings nicely. Moza, really, what they could do with improving out of anything would be on the Moza software side. If they had more telemetry options for the force feedback, that would be where they could really innovate more, I think, and have a much bigger impact on the end result force feedback. For the sake of those that don't know, if you've got a Moza wheel, basically run the force feedback equalizer, click like 7 on here, and that smooths off high frequency vibrations and it'll make it feel more rubbery and nice, and you'll get good force feedback. And then personally, I also turn off all the stuff on the Moza wheel, basically. If I'm running stronger force feedback with some cars, I might put a little bit of damper on if your wheel was overactive with some sims. But generally, you can turn everything off and make sure this is on radical, and just set the strength that you wanted the wheelbase, and then set the strength in the game, make sure it's not clipping, and you'll have a good time. The hardware is so good. The software's the problem. The games themselves have like pretty big, like iRacing has humongous physics issues at the limit, and then the other simulators, Race Room and LMU, are just very dull in the force feedback. I would say also, if you're going to play iRacing, make sure you get Marvin's force feedback app, because that allows you, with like a Moza wheel, to really tweak the force feedback and get way more detail. So it'll feel great, but at the end of the day, you have to preemptively drive iRacing, which a wheel can't fix. So, but ultimately, first impressions of the R21. This is a wittery video, guys. Hopefully it's useful to those of you looking to buy one. That's why I'm making this. Some of you will be like, oh, God, I don't know, let's check the game of muscle. yeah, ultimately it's a good piece of kit. It does the job. Can't really go too wrong. Moza keep updating the firmware. They just recently updated the pedal for the M Booster firmware. The new beta of that seems to work a lot more responsive and is quite nice as well. So Moza are sort of on it with constantly updating. Smaller power supply, mounting options, pointless LED lights. There's not much more to say with this. We're gonna have to do a review video of this after we've done probably like 40-50 hours of driving on it. But it's a slight few percentile point better than an R21 is my current status on the Moza wheelbase. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully you found that interesting, useful. Possibly the most boring video on the channel now. That's great. But let me know in the comments actually what you would like to know, and I will try and go over them in the next video that we do, and hopefully that's helpful for you. But thanks for watching. Thanks to those of you that use our affiliate links, and thanks for subscribing, liking, all that. But until the next one, happy tea drinking, take care, and goodbye.